Our next guest meets dozens of entrepreneurs in the Dragon's Den, but today Sara Davies is here to help you launch your own successful business.
Yeah, figures show that 1 in 3 people dream of starting their own business. So you're here to try and help some of our viewers who want to get started.
Yes.
I mean, how long ago was it when you first created your business?
Do you know, it'll be 19 years this October. And I started mine when I was still at university. So it was, I guess, side hustle. It's normally a side hustle if you're doing it while you're working, but I was literally studying full time.
And if you'd have thought back to 19 years ago, thinking, goodness me, this is where I'm going to be in 19 years' time, that, I mean, I imagine it wouldn't have made sense, yeah.
I never would have dreamed I'd be where I was. But I could always say that even just a few years ahead, someone would say, where are you trying to get in a few years? And I just think, do you know what? Take each day as it comes, have big dreams, big aspirations, but just manage every step along the way.
I mean, at the time, you were just 23 as well, weren't you, when you started?
21.
Oh, my. I mean, how did you do it? And are there any mistakes that you made along the way that, in hindsight now, you turn around and go, actually, I would have done that differently?
Yes, there are. However, had I not made those mistakes, I wouldn't be the person that I am. They always say you learn so much more from your mistakes than from your successes. So I think had I not been on the journey I'd been, then I wouldn't be the entrepreneur I am. And the greatest entrepreneurs, I mean, I've read a lot of autobiographies of a lot of big entrepreneurs, it's their big failures that really define who they are.
And teach you things.
And teach you things.
Yeah.
And what I try and do a lot of is kind of inspire and mentor other people so that they can learn from my mistakes. I had to experience them to learn from them myself, but I think by sharing them and being open and talking about them, other people can hopefully learn from your mistakes. They'll go on and make their own mistakes, but it'll be different mistakes to the ones I've made.
And then you've got a new role as well, haven't you, with Avon, which is exactly about that, about trying to open the doors for women who want to set up their new businesses and empowering them.
They've called me the Chief Inspiration Officer, which is brilliant because, you know, I work with tens of thousands of Avon reps now, all about how to turn their side hustle into a serious business. I mean, we have women earning 6-figure salaries from what people perceive as just a side hustle. And my job is to, do you know, 9 times out of 10, give them the confidence.
Yes.
As women, we don't think we can do it. We don't believe in ourselves. And my job is to empower them, make them believe they can do this, and then give them the tools and tips and techniques. And I do monthly mentoring sessions with them. I talk to them about the mistakes I've made, the things I've learned along the way, and how can they be the best version of themselves and have a really successful business. You know, that's the key.
I think that's one of the things when you say, you know, you've got to make the mistakes. I think so often we're so nervous or frightened to make mistakes that you end up not doing
anything. That's the worst thing you can do is do nothing.
Yeah.
I think you've got to take that leap of faith. And I'm a really outwardly confident person, but still suffer from imposter syndrome, always having the self-doubt and everything like that. But every time I've achieved something big in my life, it's because I've gone outside my comfort zone and I've really pushed on to try something different.
Well, you've got lots of tips for us this morning. So the first one you say is to set up a business plan. OK,
so you know what they say? To fail to plan is to plan to fail.
Yes.
If you don't have a plan of where you're going, how can you work out how you're doing against the plan? Have you actually achieved anything you set out to achieve? It doesn't have to be a formal business plan, but write down your goals and your objectives. This is what I tell my reps all the time. Write down your goals and objectives. Where do you want to be in 6 months, in 12 months' time? And then you can measure yourself. And best of all, be accountable. Find somebody you can be accountable to, even if it's just your friend, or writing them and sticking them on the fridge. You're more likely to do it if you're accountable to someone.
You say, do your research. That's important.
Yeah, it's not about what you want. You know, people think, oh, I've got a lovely idea for starting a business. But if it's only you that likes that, you've got to look at who is the target customer. Did they really want this? And do that research. Even if it's just asking around your friends, do some focus groups.
What about social media?
It's massive.
Yeah.
Businesses it's a make or break on social media. Yeah. And what I always say to people is, if you're starting your own business, go and shout about it on social media, but ask your friends and family to support you. You know, the way all the social media algorithms work is the more shares and likes that you get, you know, then Meta will think you're really interesting. So even if it's just asking your mum to ask her friends, can you like me posts or comment on them? That'll really help with your engagement.
Build up that community. Engagement is everything these days, isn't it? You mentioned this already. What started as a sort of a side hustle for you has become your life and your business. Yeah. But side hustles are brilliant ways of creating a little bit of extra income.
Yeah, I'm all about de-risking, right? And if you're thinking, oh, I should maybe start my own business, I'm going to throw in the towel at work, I'm going to hand my notice in and we're going to go full throttle, right? Well, what's paying for the mortgage? right? Whereas I always say, and because I've had a background in crafting, I see so many women, women especially, but women and men, who will start a little crafting hobby, start doing the craft fairs, maybe start a little, you know, Facebook marketplace, selling their wares. What starts off as a side hustle, all of a sudden that could become big enough that you can say, actually, there's demand here. If I give up my job, this is the income that I lose. However, I gain 40, 50 hours a week, and I can see in 20 hours a week I'm earning this, and I can scale this up to here. That way, you are not de-risking. You are totally de-risking yourselves, and you're not running into, how am I going to make my mortgage
otherwise
payment?
you make the wrong decisions about things. I know you've got loads more advice for us, Sarah.
Yes.
So you're going to stay with us this morning. You're going to be answering our viewers' questions
I
as
am
well.
indeed. We've had some brilliant questions in just this morning, so I can't wait to get in and give people real life advice.
Thanks, Sarah. Great to have you here, and we're going to do that phone in a little bit later.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.